Hello, it's Lisa. Jojo's back, and I wanted to see my homie is back. He's got some really nice skin. It is so nice to feel it again, Donald. Have you ever thought about being a man hooker? It is quite really cool, and you'll meet a name that is Booker. He is cool. He smells like flowers, and it will tower your senses with his beautiful musk. It's a must enjoyment. Hey guys, Jar Jar's back.
Jar Jar, thanks, man, for coming by. No, I don't really have any interest in joining your brothel.
Are you sure, sir?
I'm pretty sure.
I think you should take him up on the offer, man. He could probably give you some good money.
It's
real so good money.
Come on, am I gonna have to do sex stuff though?
Well, yes, you would be at a brothel.
I don't want to be the sexy. I want to be the sexer.
It depends on the situations.
I suppose you're right. Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, I suppose we can talk about it.
Sometimes you could be the one, giving it, and the other times you're taking it.
That's
progression, baby.
What about do I need like a clean bill of health or anything? Do I need really?
You're fine.
Okay, well,
as long as you wear gloves, you're fine.
Well, do you have any gloves?
No, you have to supply your own.
Come on,
we're kind of like a school.
Come on, man. This my own supplies.
That's kind of cheap, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I got some lots to clean up, especially your soon-to-be son-in-law.
Yeah, we don't talk about him on the show anymore.
Jar Jar, listen, man. Maybe I could take you up on that later. Right now, Greg and I, as you see, we told you this. We're gonna have to start the show now. So, thank you for opening it. But
yes,
do you want to maybe vamoose?
Here, my business card as usual, gentlemen. We have moved. We had to relocate.
Really? Expanding?
There was a lot of renovating. Rejuvenating.
Okay. That sounds good.
Re-adequating.
Interesting. What, did you need to add any kind of weird equipment to accommodate any,
Oh, yes, sir. We have wall dildos now.
Whoa.
Wait, so what's that?
So, said there's, like, old Egyptian, like, torture chambers?
Yes.
When they got the spikes in it? Oh, yes. We got that with dildos.
A dildo torture chamber?
That sounds amazing, actually.
Is it like the chokey from Matilda?
It is exactly called the chokey.
Are dildos?
We do call it the chokey. Because most likely one of those is going to get in your mouth.
And you're going to choke on it, probably. Well, that sounds interesting. I'm glad you were able to renovate.
How much vomit do you usually have to clean up in there?
Oh, probably every time.
I'm guessing a lot of fluids, just in general.
Yeah, it's everywhere, but you know what? The customers love it.
That's the business. That's the business you signed up for. That's the brothel, my man. But I'm glad to hear it's going really well, and thank you again for stopping by. Thank you for these rolls. Always appreciate the snacks.
You're so welcome. We had plenty of leftovers, and I was like, I know two gentlemen who would like some.
Yeah, you are the man for that. Because
dude, I could really go for something real spicy, because
hungry.
I am...
My man Greg's a little congested up in here, aren't you?
I got a little cold.
Which, to be fair, is because this particular boxcar, by the way, we are the Boxcar Buddies. Hello, thank you for joining us. That's Greg. I'm Don, and
Lisa Jar Jar.
Can you please leave?
All right, we actually...
All right, I'm going to open
this now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on, get out of there.
All right, boys, I'll see you later. Don. I'm keeping you up to it.
Yeah, I got your card. I'll give you a call.
I swear. It'll be real good.
You think so? I know you've told me the terrarium would be a huge hit. I get it.
I'm telling you, like, people would fuck the hole.
I know that. I'll think about it. I will think about it.
All right, bye, guys.
Later. Thanks a lot. Anyway, all right, we'll close the door. Close the door, man. All right, so Greg and I, we are the Boxcar Buddies. We meet week to week, and we like to find an abandoned boxcar because Greg nor I have homes or workplaces to record this in because we are homeless dudes.
We are men of the homelessness.
Men about town, as they say, and we are permanently about town because we have no homes to go to. And
yeah, we have chosen this lifestyle. It's for us and no one else.
Yeah, we used to have jobs and families, both of us did, and we just decided one day to ditch those and
because they're stupid.
Yeah, they're just obligations.
They're stinky
chains that really weigh you down.
It's a bunch of responsibility that I ain't got the time for.
And boy, do they frown on you drinking in the day. I will tell you that. So. Anyway, we decided to start doing this, and what we do is because that's our situation, we have to find like abandoned boxcars. Those are the warehouses and other things work too, but when it's stationary, it's a lot harder to kind of throw anybody looking for you off your trail. So we've decided to use boxcars as the venue for our podcast recording, and this recycled equipment and computer that we have over here. Thanks to Greg and
I got my hands on these quite some time ago. I stumbled across them, just perfectly laying there. Hey, look, 2 microphones, an audio interface, and a computer.
And I believe you said it was kind of like the Alice in Wonderland thing, where it's like there was a little name tag above it which said like "Take me," kind of like the
pretty
eat
much.
Me, drink me.
It was like, oh, it's free. It's free to a good home. It was like adopting an injured puppy.
Right, and no, like with the Halloween candy buckets that are like not attended, there was no note that said like "Please take one" or whatever. It was just like,
it was
take
just
all
like
of this.
take.
Yeah.
Just get it off my property.
Yeah, I don't want to use this, and I don't like looking at it anymore, presumably. So anyway, that's what we did. We've grabbed that. Greg, thankfully, has been taking care of this stuff so that we can use it week to week, and which has been kind of, I'm imagining, a chore some weeks because there are some people that are really chasing us out of our boxcars.
A lot of people don't like us.
There's just some kind of thing about us doing this thing week after week.
You want my honest opinion?
Always.
I think it's you.
Bullshit.
I think it's you.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think it is.
It's not me.
I think so.
Everybody likes me.
I don't know.
I'm just a likable guy.
You give this like seedy look to you.
Seedy.
Yeah, seedy.
Well,
like you're covered in seeds.
Well, I spend a lot of time with Scummy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
If I could smell right now, I would definitely smell the potted.
I am floral.
Dirt.
I am floral as can be at the moment.
And I am congested.
Yeah, and the reason, the roundabout reason I had brought all this up originally was basically that this particular boxcar this week that I brought was being kept in storage, and there were mothballs and dust all over that warehouse, and so this inside of this space is unfortunately pretty dusty, and we have...
When I first walked in, I thought this was a nice, fine gray carpet. Turns out it is about 30 years of dust and hair.
Yeah, it is. We have all of our footsteps.
It's like someone shaved the giant dragon from Neverending Story.
Yeah, Falcor. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
the
what
one
we've got.
the one that had the weird, like, testicle bumps on his head. Why was he so lumpy?
He's a lump dragon. So,
That's unfortunate.
It is. He's basically like a flying cancer, like a flying tumor. So it is disturbing. The kids never really picked up on that, I don't think. Never-ending Story does have an end, and it's really dark. So it's rough, but that's life.
And just like the story, his cancer is also never ending.
Indeed, it always comes back. It's it's like
he keeps going back and forth between stage 1 and stage 3 constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's that's the life. That's the dance of Falcor. But we've got Falcor on the floor, Dusty Boxcar, and that's why Greg's a little congested today. But anyway, otherwise I kind of like the Boxcar. This one has a window that it doesn't slide back and forth, but it here you can flap it open like that. You can kind of like take it inward, which is
like an RV.
Yeah, for like shouting at people, you can like stand it up right there, and
we could call people nerds and then put the window back down. Like, hey, check this out.
Do it. Fuck you. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, they had food to throw. A tomato just hit the window. Damn it. Fuck you again. Oh no, cabbage. Oh, nice. Yeah, keep the window open. Wow.
You still suck.
Oh, a hoagie. That's a hoagie. Wow, that's a great idea.
You want to say?
Yeah, definitely.
How about let's Lady in the Tramp?
You want a Lady in the Tramp this? Okay, I'll bite the other end. We're too close. Oh, we're too close. Oh
no.
Oh, damn it. Ew.
Why are you salty?
Oh, I fucking took half a banana pepper out of your goddamn mouth. Ew. Okay, sorry about...
Yummy.
Sorry you had to hear that. Anyway, but I do feel better now that we've eaten a little bit. Plus
I do have to say your lips are soft.
I've been using Burt's Beeswax. You ever... somebody must have discarded like a tube of it.
I just rub my own honey on it.
That is efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't know why people don't like my honey. It's got many uses.
Yeah, I know. Especially useful for laying traps, which you've been doing quite successfully.
I caught a beaver yesterday. I don't know what a beaver's doing in the center of Chicago, but...
Maybe it's a mascot for a new sports team, you know? Like the Chicago
He didn't have any
lacrosse
human
team.
parts when I bit into him. It was all beaver. It was like a mound of hair.
Could still be a mascot, though. Like that Punxsutawney Phil, he's a groundhog mascot. It's a real groundhog.
Well, he's a real groundhog, though.
He is a real fucking groundhog,
He's real.
too.
He comes out of that dirt and he's like, ah!
Right, and then just chomps on his shadow and dances around with it like Peter Pan.
He bites down on the shadow and shakes it.
Yeah.
Shakes it like a Polaroid picture.
And then just jumps back into his hole.
Beats it like it owes him money.
And everybody just celebrates. And I don't even know. And talks about winter and the weather and some shit. I don't know. It's fucked up. But anyway.
The winter shit, who cares about? They just want to watch a fucking animal beat up itself.
Yes, they do. And, speaking of watching things, what Greg and I like to do when we meet up in Boxcars is we like to talk about content that we have somehow absorbed miraculously as two homeless dudes walking the streets of Chicago. How is it that we can watch movies or listen to music or play video games? But there are a lot of ways to do it, and we try and figure out different ways to do it. And then when we meet up in a Boxcar and set up the recording equipment and taunt people through the windows and shit, we like to talk to each other about how we feel about that content that we've absorbed. Kind of give a little review, if you will, if that was worth the time that we spent on it. And the first thing I would like to talk about this week, Greg, is I watched a little movie. Which was recently released, called Ready Player One. Ooh. And the way that I went about that, it was good. The way that I went about that, though, was that I went back to that one movie theater. We go to the Logan Theater with the hole in the side of the wall.
Yeah.
And I went there at like...
I'm amazed they still haven't closed that
No,
shit.
it's like
it is gaping.
It's like they're committed to keeping that open. It's just, and it's right there off a busy street.
I think they want us to show up.
It's like off a busy street. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I walked into it. It was like at 1:00 p.m. on a Monday afternoon, so not a lot of people. There was someone in there who was like obliteratedly drunk, oddly enough, but that was fine. She screamed a lot throughout the movie, and that made it even more entertaining for me. Missed a few crucial plot points, I'm sure, but what are you going to do? But either way, Ready Player One, Steven Spielberg movie, came out, I think it was April 2018.
Yeah, not too long ago, couple weeks.
And it's essentially a movie about online gaming. It's a world called the Oasis, which is... It's set in the future, like 2042 something. It's set like not too far into the future, and
far enough where virtual reality is in every household.
It's widespread, and the real world is this dark dystopian place which is overpopulated, and the poor people live. It's set in this what's now Columbus, Ohio, and it's referred to as the Stacks. It's basically these trailer homes stacked on top of each other, going upward.
That doesn't sound efficient. That just sounds stupid.
Totally unsafe, too. Not structurally sound.
I'm just wondering if the author was like, what's a dumb thing to make my, boring world seem fun?
I'm going to stack up trailers.
I'm going to stack this shit like Jenga.
And then everyone's going to push it, and if you don't like someone, their tower falls down.
Does someone do that?
No, but tower does blow up at some point.
Fucking waste of potential, man.
I know, yeah, they didn't take that. But anyway, so that's where the main character lives. Let me use your hand here.
God damn it!
I just want to look at the actual page here. He's the main character is played by Ty Sheridan, and his gamer name is Parsival. But his real world name is Wade, and he lives in Columbus, Ohio.
Boy, he has two unfortunate names.
He does. Parsival, which is the one he picked.
Parsival,
reference to the Knights of the Round Table, I think, King Arthur and all that. But
yeah,
he's so well read.
Oh, he's so well rounded.
Why does he even read in a world with virtual reality? What an idiot!
Makes sense. In this world, he's a really smart and educated person.
Yeah, but he still straps on his headset and jumps into the gaming world.
He still lives in a trailer like a most garbage.
He could never save himself because he's just an orphan,
which he actually is. And that's
man, he's got all my favorite characteristics of the main character.
Pretty classic hero like backstory.
I'm
his parents died,
and I want to be a cool dude.
He's never had his parents, but he got really good at this.
My grandma feeds me bees.
Bees, like Burt's Bees.
Yes.
I eat that sometimes too.
We catch the bees that are hanging off our towers.
Really?
And we just bring them right inside and we just shove it down our gullets.
Ooh, do you ever make honeycombs like the cereal?
In my mouth I do, yes.
Man, that sounds really
Sometimes
good.
we pour milk on it, but for the most part, we got to eat the bees before they eat us back.
Sure. Do you ever share them with other people?
No, those are my bees.
Okay. Damn it.
You can't have them. I found it.
But I want them.
You can't. It's mine.
This is Ready Player One. We're supposed to share
This
things.
is Ready Player My Bees.
All right, Grandma, fine. Get the hell out of here now. Anyway, so Ready Player One, it's Ty Sheridan plays the main guy, and the world is set, like I said, it's dark and dreary in the real world, so everyone escapes into what's called the Oasis. It's an online program, kind of like the Matrix, which is just this world, except that whereas in the Matrix people don't know they're living there, everyone is consciously escaping into the Oasis and getting away from the real world.
Everyone's logging on to Reddit and putting on their fun anime avatars.
But in the Oasis, imagine it's one world where you can create any game that you want to. It's the place where everyone goes to, but if you want to play Skyrim, you can play it. If you want to race cars, you can do that. If you want to do a first-person shooter, you can do that too.
Do they have trolls? Do they have, like, shit posters? Do they have, like, anything that's
relevant? Yeah. I mean, like, definitely. And they have people in there who are, like, do troll, like it's as an avatar, like your one person is who you use to play all the games. So your online persona is like what you've created, and it represents you in all places of the Oasis. But it's
like
also
the Iron Giant or a T-Rex.
Yeah.
A car.
Well, and you earn money.
Was there any characters that were velociraptors having sex with automobiles? I'm pulling out every internet reference I can ever think of that's like part of the dark web.
I'm not going to reveal that, actually.
No one was doing soundings? No one was doing anything like that?
Was
there a big, massive porn section?
It's pretty, it's kid-friendly. It's a Steven Spielberg movie.
Are you sure there wasn't like some like red light district where it was just all the naughty things?
Well, they didn't show that. I'm not sure, and
They didn't even make reference to it?
Well, they probably did. I mean, like I said, there was a drunk lady in there, and she was screaming at some point, so I may have missed that. But
if only you could have learned about the porno bits.
Well, I'm sure that's very important. But what I did take away from the movie is that you're as a lifetime career of a gamer, you can like earn income by completing challenges or playing in games. If someone kills you in the Oasis, it's not permadeath.
You die in real life.
No, it's not permadeath, but you lose all your earned income over the course of your gaming life in the Oasis. So if you've been a member of the Oasis for 10 years, you earn X amount of money from having played games. Once someone kills you in any fashion, in any game, whatever you're doing, that fortune that you've amassed just gets collected by other people. It just, a bunch of coins come out of your corpse and people can just sweep them up. Just like a multiplayer game online.
Yeah, it's like a Fortnite where you just die and then all of a sudden...
So there are people that obviously look to do that. They're just online looking to kill others and take their fortunes and whatnot.
Is our main character one of those kinds?
No, he's a loner, because obviously there's clans in this place and people team up to beat challenges together and to get magical artifacts. Very typical, classic, like MMO, like checkpoints, like they live in this world and it's like they're playing a player online game. And so like the overarching story is that the inventor of this Oasis left an Easter egg, and if you find it, you have to complete 3 impossible challenges to do it. And this creator, the inventor of the Oasis, died 10 years before the events of this story. And for 10 years, people have been trying to complete this first challenge to get the first of 3 keys, which unlock this chest which holds the Easter egg.
It contains the developer's notes.
Basically, actually, there's a contract that you sign making you the owner and like operator of the Oasis, and you get like this incredible fortune.
That's
like
a hell of an Easter egg. That doesn't sound like an Easter egg. It sounds like Willy Wonka.
It basically is like Willy Wonka. And so this entire movie, what it is obviously they're trying to complete these impossible challenges. And so people have been trying for 10 years to do it. Our main character, Parzival, finally figures something out about this race, which is impossible to win. He does win it, gets the first key. Then these other people, proceed to go through it, and then everything unrolls from there. But the whole goal of everybody is that they're chasing this chest to become the owner of the Oasis, because presumably whoever controls the Oasis is going to be the king of the world.
So the whole movie feels like it's like it's a mad world, but with video game characters and like pop culture references running all over the place.
Yes, and an evil corporation fighting to be the first and spending all their resources trying to end up controlling the Oasis, because then they know they'd be able to be profitable forever. If a company controlled the Oasis, they would be able to be, profitable forever.
How many of like the gamer stereotypes does it do? Does it do like here's the big buff scary character, but in real life they're really tiny and weak and meek?
Not exactly that. A bit of a different take on that, but yes, that's in there. What I like about the movie is that there is a lot of it's Spielberg examining video game culture, but what was also very cool to me is that like you can see the seeds of this fictional world of Ready Player One. You can see those seeds planted in our reality right now. Virtual reality headsets, online marketplaces and communities and games where people go together. Bitcoin, avatars, people, like all these things are really out there. So this movie, as crazy as it was, and as much of, CGI and like that different stuff, it's not as far-fetched of like a future as you might imagine. So that kind of had a cool element to it.
Minus the whole trailer park
stacking
towers.
Before the whole trailer towers. Yeah, I think that somebody would probably figure out a better way to fucking smush poor people into like a tiny community.
Poor people would be cool with how do they? So what is there? Just one big giant ladder that you climb
Pretty
up?
much, it's like a fire escape, and it's like a staircase that winds all the way up to the top of the tower.
Imagine being the guy at the tippy top, like, this fucking sucks.
My knees can't take this, goddammit.
My arms are gonna snap. Oh no, the ladder's falling.
I have to finish this challenge in the Oasis so I can get a lower totem on this tower here.
But I'm really hungry. There's a 7-Eleven down the street, but it takes 40 minutes for me to walk down this fucking ladder.
What do I do? Do I buy a 6-pack of ramen, or do I buy those special boots to help me with the challenge?
Wait, I know. Let's get Postmates to drop a drone off.
That actually, though, that conflict of like the one of the parallels that they do touch on is that the poor people in the real world, in reality, spend all their money on in-game items in order to try and, get themselves to advance themselves in the Oasis. But there are always richer and better people that have better stuff. So it's kind of like going after microtransaction shit that's been rampant in gaming lately. Yeah, kind of. And just like it's this, it's a false, it's like playing the lotto. You know what I mean? You know how poor people are always the ones playing the lotto? If you look at someone's contributions to the lottery over their lifetime, if someone plays the lottery every single week, it's $10 every week. And if you're at a low income level, that adds up to a lot of money over your life that you put into the lottery. And very likely you never win anything back, or what you do win back is very small in comparison. That's kind of the message that this movie cut across about poor people trying to buy themselves an advantage. They're putting all their real world resources, whatever they do save up, which obviously they can't afford much, they pour it into the Oasis, but it doesn't change their fortunes.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the things that this movie touches on. There's a lot of other, great tropes that they touch on too, about how these people are best friends in the game and they've never met each other in real life.
Yeah, like that sounds like classic internet culture right now.
Of course, it is very classic. It's been that way for several years. I know plenty of people.
Decade.
Yeah, who have deep friendships and connections with people with whom they've never met in person. They've never seen them. They're in different cities.
I remember the old days of being on like old internet forums and just like forming friendships with like,
of course,
randos from across the world. Like everyone was behind their usernames, but eventually we just knew each other by name.
Yes, and that's kind of
it's the magic of the internet. You can connect to people from all the way around the world whenever you want.
Absolutely. It connects everyone, and it's... But in that same vein, as much connectivity
Spielberg,
as there is...
made that loving, I made a friend who lives in Japan. We're best friends forever.
Kind of, yes, yeah. And then there's the romantic thing where it's like... what's his name? Wade? Yeah, Wade, the main character, Ty Sheridan.
Taishi. What was his username again?
Ty Sheridan, the actor. His username is Parzival.
God, just unfortunate names.
I know. Yeah. It's literally you're just inviting someone to just nickname you pussy. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what you're asking from people when you run around with a name like fucking Parzival. And also when he's like, I insist, I'm not going to clan up, man. I'm a loner. It's like, well, nobody wants you in your clan because your name is fucking Parzival, man. Like nobody wants that anyway. So you're acting like,
I'm a loner.
Yourself. Yeah, I'm a loner. I don't want a clan. And it's like, well, no clans want you either, man. I don't want that fucking name on my list.
No, some guys just like, cool.
You can come play with me.
No, he just responds, okay.
I'm into it. But anyway, so Parzival, he's in love with this gamer chick, Artemis. She's this, when you're first introduced to her in the movie, she's this badass heroine chick who, like, she's well known throughout the Oasis for what she's done. She's, leader of the hunt, all that, good stuff. They go through, like, love in the Oasis, and then he's like, I want to meet you in real life, whatever. And she's all like, no, you'd be disappointed. They go through that arc of like, hey, we're forming a romance in the Oasis, but you wouldn't, he wants to meet her in the real world and she resists because she's like, what we have is an Oasis-based thing. In the real world, you'd be disappointed or you'd whatever. And then they go through that whole thing and where that ends up is all good. But overall, I just kind of want to say, like, I liked this movie a lot more than I was expecting to. I walked into that theater expecting a CGI fap fest with no real semblance of a plot and a lot of video game tropes beating me over the head with these, like, pop culture references.
Oh, boy, I sure do love Back to the Future. Here's the DeLorean.
Well, yeah, there's obviously that, but they were very subtle with a lot of the references, like more so than I was expecting. Some are obviously big, like the DeLorean thing is a big one,
like a big fucking like.
But then there's a moment in the movie when he uses a device to go back in time briefly. It's a magical item that he uses to get out of a bad situation. When he throws it up in the air, there's that little musical note from Back to the Future that's like do 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 do, like a little like magical sound that they make whenever Marty like is about to discover something that the Doc has left him or whatever.
Yeah.
And that alone was like a Back to the Future reference, and that's the only time they did it. They didn't do it like 5 times, so like, hey, get it? We're referencing Back to the Future.
They're not going to beat it over your head like, we love movies. Here comes the Iron Giant with a gun.
Exactly. There are a lot of references that way that I really liked because it's very subtle, and you could easily miss them if you didn't, if you didn't know or you weren't looking for things. But that's another kind of subtle reference to video gaming overall anyway. You can play a game for 30 years and discover something later that you had been overlooking, the Easter egg things. Like, it's the
I mean, there were some secrets from, like, old PlayStation 1 games that were just found out.
Yes, exactly. And game designers put in those Easter eggs for that exact reason. And this movie, I think, did a very good job, especially, like, I think what I read a lot of expectations about it in terms of Spielberg was that he was going to gum up video gaming culture because it's like, how could a guy like Spielberg trying to do the wide appeal understand, like, video game culture, which a lot of the time is anti, like, everything. It's just, it's rebelling against, whatever's popular.
It's pure chaos.
Totally. But that being said, I think Spielberg did a very good job paying homage to video game culture overall with a movie that is widely appealing. I think he succeeded when people were very sure that he was going to fail. So overall, I'm recommending Ready Player One, not just to people who love video games or even have ever played games, but it's just a good movie in general because of all the themes that it touches on and the world that it portrays and the relationships that happen in the story arc in general. It's just widely appealing and it's a good story, and I'm definitely recommending it. I think it's good.
Neat. Well, speaking of things that are not I guess they are widely appealing. Guess what I saw?
What?
I saw Thanos Man.
What's Thanos Man?
AKA Avengers Infinity Wars.
Avengers Infinity Wars?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you swing that, man? That just came out last week, I think.
Yeah, so it was really weird. Freak asked me out. He said, I'll take you to a movie.
Whoa, I know you guys have been a little bit, it
was weird.
Out of sorts lately.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening, so he wrote down on Greg's list. I found it. wafting through the wind, and we met up at the Regal on Western, and he said, "All right, let's go
Regal
see
City.
a movie."
Yeah, that's a good theater.
It was really awkward. I was like, "Hey man, like, how you been? Like, trying to catch up?" And he was like, "It's been good. I'm just excited to go see a movie."
Yeah, I'm imagining it's got to be uncomfortable for a man of Freak's size to sit in theater seats.
Oh, he had to buy 3 seats, 1 for me and 2 for him,
right?
So he can like widely
sit across the 3 and
because he's not lumpy. He's big.
Yeah,
he's
just
big.
a wide dude. He's like a Coke machine trying to sit down.
Yeah, we the seats he got weren't great. They were pretty close to the front row, but it was
I'm imagining it was packed.
It was packed. It was opening weekend.
Yeah,
like it was insane. But
wow.
I gotta say,
jealous, man.
We've
kind of jealous.
We've talked about our thoughts on Avengers stuff a lot, and
Marvel in general. I think,
and something that we've constantly brought up since we've started the show is our fear of Infinity War being a complete utter clusterfuck of
10 years of build up for a fucking flop. Yeah,
and I'm happy to say that it was not a clusterfuck at all.
Really?
And it was a very well structured, very fun, but also a risky movie from the Marvel Universe.
Wow.
Something that just has not been done in any Marvel movie.
Interesting. So it worked. You're saying Marvel's experiment, the phase 1, 10 years,
the build-up,
and 20 movies, all of that added up to something good.
This is what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been building since the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, Iron Man, 2008.
No, Avengers movie, the first Avengers.
I think with Iron Man though.
Well, of course, in 2008, yeah. But like the whole thought of making Thanos something was like that came to play from the first Avengers movie,
right?
And the build up for it has its ups and downs. There have been some great movies. Been a lot of okay movies and a couple like
real stinkers
and a lot of like problems between like studios and directors and all this messy shit.
A lot of moving parts to fit together in order to add up to this Infinity War movie.
Yeah, but I'm very happy to say that this movie ended up being quite good and I had a lot of fun.
Interesting.
I think the best parts of the movie are we have a centralized character and it's Thanos.
Right.
And there's so much time built on Thanos that we get to understand his ideology.
Is it told from the point of view of Thanos, would you say, kind of?
No, okay. It's split up. So I would say that the story splits into 4 different directions and then turns into 3 with the minusing of characters as the story goes on.
Don't you fucking spoil anything, man.
So there's like one half of the Guardians are with Thor to make a weapon to fight Thanos. The other half of the Guardians meet up with like Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and they're trying to think of a plan to beat up Thanos, but both of those storylines were split in half. So there's one half where it's just Doctor Strange and Tony Stark, and then the other half is with the other half of the Guardians, so like Star-Lord and Gamora. And then the Avengers on Earth. So you got like Captain America and Black Panther and all them. And I have to say, like, the Captain America stuff, like the actual core Avengers team, were probably like the most boring part.
Really?
Because nothing really, like, there's some really cool action scenes with them, and I would say, like, the big ups in terms of, like, character moments are between Vision and Scarlet Witch. While every other character, like Captain and Falcon and all of them, they're just like, we're back. We gotta fight this evil menace that has come to our planet.
Yes. We have to defeat him.
It was so fun how they thought of how characters would fight alongside each other.
Yeah.
The whole fight between, like, with the Guardians members with Doctor Strange and Tony Stark and Spider-Man, it's so creative.
Yeah.
There were so many things happening because Doctor Strange would use, like, his teleport abilities and Spider-Man would jump through holes and he would web swing into shit, and it was really fun.
That's exactly what you want from Avengers movies. I think reason why Avengers are even a thing in comics was because someone thought, what would it be like if these heroes who exist otherwise separately, what if they were fighting together like a tag team match?
What if we put Iron Man and the Hulk next to each other and see what happens?
Yeah, exactly. How would they team up? How would they help use each other's powers as combos and shit? So that, I know exactly what you mean, and it's great to hear that they were creative in utilizing those, because I think that's some of the best fun in watching Avengers movies.
Yeah, no one felt like they were like left out, except two characters. Hawkeye and Ant-Man.
Really?
Because they're not in it.
Oh, of course. There's hence the backlash of why isn't Hawkeye in the Avengers, which I'm sure they explain, and it's part of the story. But I remember leading up to the release of this movie,
they give like a throwaway line as to why Paul Rudd and
Jeremy
Renner aren't there.
Yeah, I remember,
and it's so fucking weird because like after finishing this movie, fucking Ant-Man and Wasp comes out in a few months.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, right. Well, why would you? It's
I'm like,
Paul Rudd's not in the Avengers.
Why? You make this enormous movie. This is the movie that we've been waiting for years.
Right.
This is like the culmination of everything that the Marvel Universe is.
Yes.
The cinematic universe. And then instead of the next movie being the direct sequel, it's fucking Ant-Man.
Right, a character who's not even in this movie.
The Captain Marvel one.
Yeah, with Brie Larson. Yeah.
That's going to be important. So that's something that I'm like, yeah, I'll go see Captain Marvel because it will make sense in the context of everything that's happening.
Plus Jude Law.
Yeah, but with like fucking Ant-Man, I'm like, I don't
not gonna
care.
See that. Although Evangeline Lilly, gotta love that chick.
She is so good looking,
very attractive,
and she's a good actor when she's in something that gives her a good script.
Yes, basically not Real Steel alongside Hugh Jackman.
I don't know. Real Steel was fun.
Well, it was fun, but I mean, her part in particular in that movie was
her part was non-existent.
Yes.
You watched it for Hugh Jackman.
Yes,
her character like didn't exist.
No,
her whole
it was
character
nothing.
was, we used to be lovers,
and
but we're not lovers anymore.
Yeah, and she's like a mom who doesn't care that her kid is off like fighting these huge robots and shit. She's just like, yeah, whatever. Just pining for Hugh Jackman, basically. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Infinity War. Back to
Infinity War. But like I said before, the central focus is Thanos and paying attention to how he conquers planets, his thought process, his ideologies, what he actually does give a shit about.
Mm-hmm.
And he totes on this gray line where it's like, yeah, he's a psychopath, but he's also like, he truly believes what he's doing is just and right, and it will make the world a better place. And he is willing to make any sacrifice for it.
AKA a good villain.
Great villain.
Because the best villains, that is exactly what they have. A belief that they're just willing to go further than anyone else in the fight for.
It also has to be the acting and whoever is casted, and Josh Brolin just fucking kills it.
Josh Brolin is Thanos?
Yeah.
And he's Cable?
Yeah.
What?
He's been Thanos since the first Avengers.
Well, yeah, I just didn't. Well, it's a big CGI purple man, so
he
voices him, so that's why I didn't recognize him. But
you'll see it like if you go see the movie and you actually see Grimace talk, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I see it. Like the facial structure is 100%.
I just think that
he just has that weird ball chin.
Okay, and it's different than Ryan Reynolds being Green Lantern and Deadpool, and it's also different.
Well, Green Lantern's not even part of the Marvel Universe, so that doesn't even matter.
But it's all, and then it's also different, I suppose, than Chris Evans.
It's the Fox universe and the Marvel universe.
Yeah. So those are
Deadpool and the X-Men have not been integrated into the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
right? And as of yet, anyway. And
I hope not.
I think we are going to see that in a couple of years.
No, I wanted Fox to keep making weird X-Men movies.
I think they will, because it's probably, if they were smart...
They'll try and do the same thing that Sony does.
Can't you wait
for Venom?
Actually, I saw a trailer for Venom that made me really interested in it, yes.
Really?
Yeah, just this past week.
Yeah,
they finally showed him.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I am...
Tom Hardy. Dude, anything Tom Hardy's in, I'm going to go see.
All right.
Yeah.
But back to Infinity War and Josh Brolin. Yeah, Josh Brolin is
JB. Good old Goonies.
He's the big boy.
Yeah. No, okay, that's interesting. I love Josh Brolin, so that makes me automatically like assuages any fears about who was acting and voicing the character.
He does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Like, he really makes the character believable.
That's great.
And he also makes him feel like powerful. Mm-hmm. This dude can knock down hundreds by himself.
Right.
And I think it's really cool too in the movie. So the focus of all these movies has been getting the fucking Infinity Stones.
Yes.
When the movie starts, Thanos only has one.
Ah, interesting.
So the whole movie is him trying to get the rest of them.
And by the way, his gauntlet that he's putting the stones into when he gets them, is that a special item itself? Did he just make that to hold the stones?
So that's explained in this movie.
Oh,
it's part of the Thor storyline where he's trying to make a weapon. And there is one of the funniest and probably like one of the most like, why cameos? Peter Dinklage plays a dwarf.
Tyrion.
Here's the thing. All right, so he's an Asgardian dwarf, but he's fucking 10 feet tall.
What the fuck is that?
It's so fucking weird looking.
I bet it is.
Because they made him huge, but then the other funny thing they did to him too, so he made the gauntlet, and he explains how he makes the gauntlet. And he's like, all right, I'll make you the gauntlet. Just don't do this, this, and this. Thanos goes, nah. And he coats his hands in metal so he can never work metal again. But when you see him walking around with his metal fists, his arms look like fucking chicken legs. It's got like that cartoon white like paper cover that you put on the bones.
Yes.
It's that, but it's metal.
Oh,
so he's got these big turkey leg arms that he swings around. I will fight you.
Oh God, so derpy it sounds.
It is. It was not good. It was very not good.
Yeah, that just sounds a little bit
Peter Dinklage
of a rip. That sounds like a little bit of a reach.
It was too much of a reach, but the sequence itself was pretty fun. Of watching Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Thor make a fucking axe.
Yeah.
It was still entertaining.
Yeah, I bet.
Everything is super over the top. The action is really, really cool. The jokes are good. Drax fucking annihilates it. I was also worried because the directors are the Russo brothers, so they did all the Captain America movies. I was like, I don't think they're going to capture the essence of a lot of these characters. I don't think they're going to be able to capture Spider-Man's dialogue, Tony Stark's, the Guardians, especially the Guardians. And the Guardians felt like James Gunn had his hands on them.
Really?
The exact dialogue between all of the characters, just the way that Drax speaks, Drax has some of the best one-liners in the entire movie.
Nice.
And I'm not going to spoil any of them because they are so fucking good.
This sounds very. I mean, you've sold me. I'm definitely going to go check this out as soon as I can.
It is a great way to start the summer blockbuster shit show that's coming very soon. I think it's great to start on this because it is a lot of fun. It's action-packed. It's got a very bitter ending though.
Really?
Bitter. Not bittersweet, bitter.
Interesting.
And that's why I like it so much, because it's nothing that any other Marvel movie has done. It isn't like the truth and justice shall survive.
Right.
No one gives any of those campy speeches. They're like, oh, fuck, this guy wants to cause a galactic genocide.
Right.
We need to get our shit together.
Right. That sounds very cool, man. Sounds like it sounds like a very... Sounds like the next step of Marvel movies. Sounds like the kickoff to a new phase, which is exactly what it was supposed to be.
It doesn't feel like 3 hours. It's 3 hours, but it doesn't feel like it.
Well, that alone is what you want from those movies. That's awesome, man. Cool. Infinity Wars, Ready Player One, both worth seeing. And then last thing, Greg, I'll tell you this week is that a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, I just want to. Oh wow, it's okay.
I just want to clean out.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No. You got to do what you got to do, and it is dusty in here. It is. Actually, you know what? It's so dusty in here. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Hang on 1 second. Hey, Stu, why don't you come on in here? Yeah.
Are you joking, right?
No, I'm not.
What are you doing?
Come on in, bud.
Don, no.
Yeah. Well, I asked him here because I sent him a thing on Craigslist because I wanted him to clean up the dust, and that's what he does. He dusts his diner that he that he works at, and he's got the Windex all the time. Stu, thanks. Come on over, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Hello, John and Greg, and my God, the floor is so dusty and disgusting. It reminds me of the skin of some of my employees.
Jesus, Stu. Just take it easy.
This was a good idea.
Sweep up the dust. Just Windex this fucking windows, please, and just get out of here. Don't say anything.
Don't make eye
contact,
okay? You fucking weirdo.
Listen. The two of you, I wanted to say I think this recording of the podcast is cool, and I will just sweep, and I'm going to be wiping the window down, and I don't want to disturb either of you.
Yeah, make sure none of the dust gets on my computer, too.
Yeah, and you're already disturbing us.
How's that hole doing, by the way?
A little bit close.
Well, it's not entirely patched up here, but I can still breathe, and I'm not bleeding anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, and I still see you got, those bandages are bloody. Like, you're not actively bleeding?
No, I'm just, maybe.
Stop taking your Band-Aids off, you creepy old racist.
Yes, come on, dude. You're going to infect us with whatever you've got. Just clean.
Right,
clean and get the fuck out of here.
Sweep. Greg, lift your leg up so I can sweep underneath you here.
Okay.
All right, great. Yeah, that's right. We're cleaning now. This looks better. And let me...
Stop!
Here, let me get you with the Windex.
Ow, my eyes!
Stu, don't spray that at people. Jesus, spray it on the window. It's a glass cleaner.
Well, I use it to clean whatever I want, including evil presence. And
What did you fucking call me? If I wasn't blinded, I'd bite your goddamn wrinkly skin.
That's right. This is payback for you shooting me with your laser fingers, man.
Don, where is he?
Here, listen, Greg, put that away. Stu, you know what? Actually, why don't you just get the fuck out of here now? Just actually leave. This is a terrible idea.
I'm not going anywhere until I finish cleaning the floor.
Get out.
Target him for me, Don. I can't
To the
see.
left, 10 o'clock. There you go.
No, ow, leg.
That's right. There, get out of here now.
All right, damn it.
Jesus.
Why do you invite him?
Well, he's down to clean, and this is a dirty boxcar.
The only thing he wants to clean is ethnicities.
Yeah, ethnic cleansing. Yeah, I know. He's racist. It's terrible. It was a bad idea. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted him to try and clean stuff that failed. Never again. Sorry about that. Anyway, and it's...
You made things worse.
Now there's dust everywhere swimming in the thing. All right, well, we'll get out of here soon. The last thing I just want to bring up is that I saw something a few weeks ago, Greg, when I was... I wasn't at Scummies. I can't remember where I was exactly. Oh, no. I was posted up outside of the DePaul Student Media Center downtown. It's it hooked up to this Barnes and Noble. It was some kids were doing something down there. Anyway, I'm posted up outside the window, and I tapped on the window, held up a little sign that I'd written, scribbled with some charcoal that I found on the block. I wrote a letter to one of the students, and I held it up against the window, and I just said, please open the window so I can hear, the audio. And so they acquiesced nicely enough. They're good kids at DePaul, I think. And
college kids are very open.
Yeah, open-minded. Totally, not...
They're in that weird phase of I just want to experience life. And then that's when you take their wallets and run away.
They're idiots. They are idiots. So anyway... They put on Netflix, and they're rifling through these comedy specials, and I walked in, and they had just finished the Chris Rock one, I think. So they were choosing the next one, and they landed on Patton Oswalt's Annihilation special.
Ooh.
I believe Annihilation is Patton Oswalt's most recent stand-up special.
Yeah,
2017.
Because that's when he talks about his ex-wife.
His late wife, yes,
wife.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was left with most at the end of this special is that Patton Oswalt, I love the guy. He is someone who I respect greatly as a voice actor. He does a lot of some great voice work for different shows.
He's doing a great show right now called AP Biology.
Really?
Yeah, it's with Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
I love that guy.
It's a very good show right now.
Is that live action or animated?
It's live action.
Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Also, Patton Oswalt on Twitter. His activity on Twitter. Everyone's always trying to win Twitter with their one-liners and retorts.
Like every fucking comedian.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Literally everyone does. Patton Oswalt is someone who I feel regularly achieves that, actually, for a day. He kind of tends to win Twitter on a regular basis, so I respect the guy in a lot of those regards. I haven't seen any other of his stand-up specials, so what I'm about to say is not a blanket statement or a review of him as a stand-up comedian. But I will say this particular special, Annihilation, what I was left with and my impression of it is that this was a man who was still very raw from the loss of his wife, and he talks about what exactly happened, and it is very clearly heartbreaking. It's a tough situation. But what I could not help thinking is that, like, and obviously it's part of his career. Like, stand-up comedy is part of, like, what he does. I think, and to get back up on the horse, it's going to be a little bit awkward, I suppose. You know, to after a tragedy like that, to find the funny, very tough. But I ended up feeling pretty bad for, like, the audience of this show because it was just, it started to feel to me like once he brings up his wife about 20 minutes into the special. And from that moment on, and the special's just over an hour. It's about an hour, 5 minutes. So from 20 minutes to 65, it feels a lot like the audience is being held hostage by someone in a therapy session. It's someone who's on stage vocalizing the hurt and the raw emotional pain that he feels, which is a tool in comedy, using tragedy to pivot and then immediately throw a punchline in. That's a comedic tool, and I understand that. So when he first brought up his late wife, my mind immediately went there. I'm like, he says something about it, and you can feel the air go out of the room. Like, the audience is just all of a sudden all ears, and it's like nobody's laughing. He says, I lost my wife a year ago and all this. And from that, you're like, you're hooked. And I'm listening. I'm waiting then for the quick pivot, for the punchline to turn it, to take it back up. That never comes. It's basically like, you know, I thought it was a tactic.
It felt kind of like a TED Talk once he started talking about his wife.
A little bit, yes. So, and I'm not opposed to that either. We've talked about the Dave Chappelle thing where it's like more of a rambling style. Even Ricky Gervais, like at times it was not, you know, well, Ricky Gervais was pretty polished and everything, but I'm okay with sort of like an unpolished routine. People do that successfully, and like that's all fine. It's just that like this did not succeed as a stand-up special. If the goal of a comedian is to make people laugh, more than half of this special, there's nobody laughing. Not in the audience, not anyone watching at home. I don't mean to bash on the guy too hard, but my advice would be, if you, and I'll do this too, it's not like I'm cutting him out as a stand-up guy, but I would watch a different special than Annihilation. Like, don't watch it.
He has amazing specials from years ago that are equally worth watching, but I still think this one is still, like, interesting to watch just because it's cool to see him, like, open up. Like, don't go into it expecting it's not a comedy special. It's him finally opening up and finally letting his wife go because, I mean, he's remarried now.
Yes.
He's got a whole new fresh start, and like I said before with that show he's doing, AP Biology, like he's doing a great job right now. He's back in the limelight. What's the other show he's doing? Happy on Sci-Fi.
Oh, okay.
He's a little girl's imaginary friend, and he enlists a hitman to help find her.
Wow.
I can't remember the name of the guy who's the lead actor. Hold on, let me... You know, before I had this robot hand, it really sucked, like, trying to find out the internet references, because we were like, oh, it's with such and such. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Whatever happened?
We would just say, like, oh, it's with somebody, but I don't know who it is. Now, look at that. Fucking invented a little screen for yourself, hooked it up to the internet. Now you can look at stuff whenever you need to. Just like a real boy. Just like a real person out there.
I am a real boy.
So, anyway, yeah, while Greg searches for that, I just want to say that interruption with Stu was brought to us by Windex, and Windex is,
Windex does not sponsor us.
And they don't sponsor us at all, and it's not meant to be sprayed in people's faces or eyes. It's a glass cleaner.
It sure isn't.
And so Greg's eyes are a little red and puffy now, so I think we're going to have to
kind of squinting here.
Maybe after this we can wash them out in that stream that's running just outside of where we are right now.
Yeah.
On the west side of Chicago.
Christopher Meloni.
Yeah. Strange name. Oh, Maloney. Chris Maloney. Yeah, from
fun.
Law and Order, SVU. Yeah.
And Superman.
Yeah, and the guy who plays Freak in Harold and Kumar. It's a wonderful, wonderful cameo.
Oh, right. Yeah. I totally forgot about Harold and Kumar.
He's great. He's excellent. He's a great actor.
But yeah, he's a hitman, and Patton Oswalt is this flying unicorn donkey that is a little girl's imaginary friend.
So it's animated, I'm guessing.
No, it's all live action except Happy.
Oh, wow.
Happy is animated.
Interesting.
So he's a CGI cartoon donkey thing, and everyone else is... it's real.
That sounds interesting.
It's an interesting show. I think it's worth watching. Patton Oswalt's doing a lot of really cool stuff right now.
That's all fine. And again, I went into this saying I'm not bashing Patton Oswalt. He's fine. I like the guy. I am not recommending Annihilation to anybody who doesn't want to be depressed. It's just very raw. It's emotionally, it's tough. And I found myself sitting there watching it. I mean, I wrote at the top of my notes here, I laughed 3 times throughout the special. And I'm not saying he doesn't do a good job with jokes, because he still does have some good jokes. He even throws a good joke in. One of the times I laughed was after he did bring up his wife. He brings up a joke about how a security guard, after he puts all this effort into helping his daughter try and forget that this tragedy has happened, a security guard at the airport unintentionally shatters all that by saying, oh, it's so sad what happened to your mother and all this. And then he talks about living in fear of that security guard popping up at holidays all over the future, ruining it for him and his daughter.
I like
the
joke too of him coming to drop his daughter off at school, and he's like, I looked like a crack addict.
Yeah. He does have
slept in 3 days.
Yeah, he has decent jokes in it and all that stuff. I'm just saying, look, if you, as a special, if you're looking to laugh, it's not a special for you to watch.
If you're a big Patton Oswalt fan and you're kind of interested on what his life has been since his wife passed away, I think it's worth watching.
Sure, if you're looking for that insight, definitely. But if it's laughs you're after, Annihilation is really not the one. But that's my opinion on that. So I just wanted to share that, because when I watched it, with the kids and DePaul, we were all just kind of glued to the screen, we they had just finished the Chris Rock thing. They're on a comedy binge, and then all of a sudden it's 20 minutes into this thing.
And then all the white girls are crying oh, it's so sad. Jesus, daughter's so and they put it on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, though, so that's just where we're ending up. Annihilation, I say no. Greg says yes.
I say yes, not to laugh. Yes, if you like Patton Oswalt and want to know what he's doing.
Right. Infinity Wars, Greg says definitely go see it. Wonderful. And Ready Player One, I say that is also worth your time. It's a Spielberg, widely appealing, good movie.
So if you can't get into Infinity War because it's too crowded, go to Ready Player One, because no one will be there.
Exactly, because
it will be empty.
It also, and because of Infinity Wars, just like how Black Panther drowned out the movie Annihilation, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen now. I don't think a lot of people are going to see Ready Player One, because now that Infinity Wars is
people
out,
already saw it. It's been out for a while.
Well, yeah, a couple of weeks for sure. But it's still worth your time, definitely. And so yeah, check those out. And thanks for stopping by again. We're the Boxcar Buddies, and now I'm gonna go see if Stu hasn't made it to the hospital yet. I
gotta clean my my face.
Yeah, here. Here. This is a tea kettle over here. Why don't you use that as an neti pot?
All right.
Just pour it. Yeah, there's some water in there. There you go. All right, you're not supposed to pour it like that much.
This doesn't feel...
Oh, God. Drake, you're not supposed to... You're drowning yourself. You're drowning yourself like that. Okay.
Call Freak.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Hey, thanks again for stopping by. I'm Don.
I'm dying.
And we'll talk next week. Thanks so much. Boxcar Buddies on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And, please tell anybody about us.
Send us an email. Tell us things we should watch and see.
Yeah, definitely. We would love to hear from you. BoxcarBuddiesPodcast@gmail.com. And thank you again so much. We appreciate it. And we'll talk next week. Ta-ta.